Hello everybody and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Project Zomboid, and this week, back to Russia. And yes, I know it's Tuesdoid, not Mondoid. Whatever, man. Just take it. Take it and enjoy it like every video I give you. Anyway, what do we got this week? We got a lot of things this week, to be honest with you. It is back to the Russian community for continued Q&A. But there's some interesting things to talk about. Now, of course, a lot of what I'm going to talk about is stuff that I've touched on in the past, whether it be the recent past or the distant past. But some of it's worth revisiting. Not all of it. So if you're interested, as always, come to projectzomboid.com and you can go through all of this in greater detail than I can because, hey, I'm just an overview. So, right away, before we even get into the Q&A, they're just talking about Build 31 before it's on the public branch. I mean, it's already on the I will back up my save file branch. Before it's even on the more public branch, they're throwing more fixes at it and stuff. And once it's ready, it'll be public for everybody, for those who don't like to do the I will back up my save file branch. And everybody will be able to play it. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to some stuff. I will tackle about 2 or 3 of the questions here. And then afterward, if you want to read more, please come back and check it out. So, the very first question I'm going to tackle is, will we ever know about the outbreak that happened in this game's world? Why are there zombies, etc., etc.? This is asked by Fedor Ushanov. I apologize any names I end up butchering. And this has been tackled and talked about before. The answer is yes and no. We'll get bits and pieces of information over TV broadcasts, radio broadcasts, etc., etc. In the first week of in-game days, that'll be regular. We can take a look at the TV and listen and hear all kinds of information. Not all the information is going to be right. A lot of it's going to be wrong, and some of it will be plausible but still incorrect. And we, as players, will have to piece together what we think is correct, and then maybe we'll have an answer, but it might not be the right answer. The developers have said they will never come out and tell you why the zombie apocalypse is actually happening 100%. They will just give many reasons, lots of misinformation, and it'll be up to you to piece together your own theory. I like that a lot, and you'll never get all the information in one playthrough. It'll have to be multiple playthroughs because the radios and TVs will go down after a week or two, and you will have missed a lot of the information that'll happen. Whether you missed a TV show because it was playing at a time you were scavenging, or something happened overnight. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you would miss a lot of information. So over the course of multiple playthroughs, you might be able to piece together a theory. It might be a right theory. It might be completely wrong. It might be slightly wrong with many right elements. It might be slightly right with many wrong elements. But that's the fun part. It's up to you to kind of piece together this theory as to what happened in the world. And that's what they're basically saying here. And that's exciting. I like that. That's really cool. I've always said I like that. So what was the reason for changing the old exhaustion system? That's simple. We talked about this actually not too long ago. And one of the big reasons was the old exhaustion system was more of a delay to playing the game. Anytime we got fully exhausted, we would stop for 5 to 10 seconds, wait for the exhausted noodle to go away, and then we would go back and play as if nothing was happening. Now it's treated more like a commodity. If you want to get rid of exhaustion, it's going to take you the whole day, or going to sleep, or whatever, or until you level up and become better at doing what you're doing before you get exhausted. Before, and I'd like to think that I had something to do with this, they say watching zombie clearouts on YouTube was frighteningly dull and drawn out. I remember the time where I single-handedly cleared out the entire mall, and I was 100% successful. That mall was packed, and I was able to clear out the entire mall by myself because the exhaustion system just allowed me to do that. I hope there was a part of one of the developers was like, Matt, please stop, don't do this. So they had to change the exhaustion system because of that. And many other people, I'm sure, doing it who play the game. Tuxie TV, Sir Twiggy on Twitch, and other people. So that's just how it is. You gotta. That's what Alpha's all about. You watch what the players do, and you change the things that just are clearly not working in the game, and then you go on with that. We're gonna skip these couple of questions. Will they add voice chat to multiplayer? They're gonna try. They can't promise. Will there be plans to remove limbs? Something they'd like to do, but not something they're worried about right now. Will they be able to shoot zombies from the rooftops of buildings and hit them on the street? They said absolutely. That's something that should be working now, but it's more of a bug than anything else. And the last thing is, how will NPCs work? So This is the last question I actually want to cover in depth because we've talked about this before, but I know a lot of people are probably questioning how in the hell are they going to pull off NPCs like they're saying. These NPCs who have decision trees and have, you know, these ambitions and these personalities and stuff. And one of the big things they've taken inspiration from, and one of the big things they've talked about before and they look at as far as inspiration, is how Paradox does NPCs in Crusader Kings 2. NPCs in Crusader Kings 2 are amazing because they are incredibly deep and complex, but at the same time, the way they do them is actually deceptively simple. But if you've ever played Crusader Kings 2, it's a grand strategy game taking place in the Middle Ages where you could play anyone from a little count and duke all the way up to the emperor of an empire, and you can work your way up there. And there are hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds, even thousands of NPCs all at any given time, from a child to the elderly, and they all have their own personality traits, their own goals, their own decisions that they're making. They're all trying to become powerful or get married or this, that, and the other, and all of this is running simultaneously at the same time. And the way that they do it is really interesting, and I would suggest, if you're curious how Paradox does their NPCs in Crusader Kings 2, because it's an amazing feat that they pull off, go research it and check it out, because that's not how the Indie Stone is doing it, but that's a massive inspiration for the Indie Stone, and that's awesome because I think the way that they do NPCs, oh god, sudden yawn attack, NPCs at Crusader Kings 2 is a great way to kind of take ideas from. So if you have any idea how that works, think of that. That's how they're going to do it, and it makes sense because it's going to make the NPCs in this game feel real while allowing the developers to actually make it a plausible thing to do. So check it out. I'm very excited that that's what they're taking inspiration from. It's going to be awesome. I'm so looking forward to NPCs coming in the game. And that's going to be it. There's a bunch of questions here, but I want to tackle what I thought the three most important one. We're already at like 7 minutes, which is crazy. I expect this to be like 4 or 5 minutes, but either way, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're once a weeker, I'll see you next week. If you're a regular, I'll see you later today. And as always, I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye.